Hello. Let's cleanse the space a little bit. Blessed be everybody and welcome. Oh, I love this time as the moon waxes and grows stronger, but it's really intense right now. And this Distance Reiki full moon medicine event is really going to focus on how we can use the powers of the full moon and this blood moon eclipse that's coming up for our highest good. And the themes that are connected to the Aquarian full moon have to do with liberation and freedom from oppression, freedom from your limitations. Maybe it's a limited mindset, maybe it's a limited way of seeing yourself. Maybe you really are limited and some of your relationships are limiting and constricting you and holding you back and holding you down and suppressing. It's like there are individuals that can kind of dim our light if we allow them to. And there's a part of us that wants to break free and is busting out. And you can see it. There's outbursts happening all around us. There's this wild force that wants to come to the surface, that wants to be recognized within us. As we want to be liberated, there's these energies that are going on with Uranus that is square Mars, that is almost like right there with the moon. That is causing this extra angst energy. And so that's why there are so many outbursts. And I'm getting ash on my laptop. Feel free to take 3 deep breaths as we connect in sacredness now. 1 for the mind, 1 for the body, and 1 for the soul. And as you exhale, release what you do not need. As you exhale, detach yourself from the outside world. As you exhale, detach yourself from the past. Detach yourself from the future. And be here now. So thank you once again for taking the time, for you, for all of us. It's funny, I have these plans and then Spirit just goes, have them really connect to the aliveness within them right now. Because the aliveness within them is really driving the show. And wow, I can feel a big shift just happening now. Our aliveness, the life force, it has an intelligence as it moves through us. Are we breathing in life, or is life breathing us into being? Blessed be. So feel the aliveness that is within you in your life force. And that essentially is what Reiki is. Reiki is the practice of learning how to tap into and connect with that aliveness, connect with the intelligence of the universe or the multiverse, and use that energy for healing, for our highest growth, for our highest good, for our growth and our evolution. And Spirit's reminding me that I have not introduced myself. I'm Jules Aradia. Thank you for watching and thank you for tuning in. I'm a priestess and a seer and a Reiki master teacher and a songstress in the Los Angeles area. And for more information on my work, you can go to julesaradia.com. And I have a blog, and there's links to my different videos and things that I've done. So feel free to check that out. You can take this time to get yourself a nice cup of tea, get yourself comfortable, maybe light a candle, burn some incense, bring in your favorite crystals, you know, get into that sacred space. And just breathe with me and connect with me as we talk about this threshold that we are crossing. I see eclipses as thresholds that we cross. Because when, whether it's the earth that is casting a shadow on the moon, which is opposite from the sun, it's like, or if the shadow, or if the moon is passing in front of the sun, like it does in a solar eclipse, it's like this sickle or something that slices through that link. A lot in the past, eclipses were feared because it is like it's a cutting the link between us and other planetary bodies. There's like a disruption. There's a big change that happens, like when the moon passes in front of the sun, which it will again on the next new moon. There's like a severing. And lunar eclipses tend to bring endings. And this blood moon eclipse, we should use that to release something that we really have been struggling with. There's a bunch of stuff that's coming to the surface right now, and we're getting really kind of in these uncomfortable places. And that's when we're in these places of discomfort, we might be cranky or express ourselves and have a short temper with each other. And I'm sure you're seeing it all around you. I just feel the energy waves coming in really strong, and I can actually feel like where is this sense of anxiety coming from? It's not my thought. It's not connected to my thoughts. It's not connected to the people to anyone around me, because I'm like, in my temple space meditating, and then the strange waves come through. And I started noticing how planetary alignments, how I was actually feeling them. And I could actually feel like when solar flares were happening. Oh, by the way, the 24th, we're supposed to have a geomagnetic storm. So that's forecasted. So it's like the aura of our planet is freaking out as wind from the sun comes towards the earth, and as it buffers the earth, like all the energies, like everything just like amps up in frequency. Is what I think. That's my theory on it. And I think scientifically it also backs it up. So I started feeling these geomagnetic storms and solar flares back in 2010. There was a really big X-class flare, and I had turned on my Reiki, and I was blessing something, and I felt like I was being zapped with lightning. And then I went online and researched and went, oh, there's a pattern here. So I started tracking them and noticing and getting more into astrology and noticing more and more how the planetary bodies affect us, our mental states, our emotional states, and even our health sometimes. And right now, I feel that there's a lot of energies that are making us aware of chronic conditions, and things that need to change. And like maybe we've been stuck in a negative loop regarding something in our lives, whether it be relationship or career or health. We look at, one of the gifts of being a human is your gift for pattern recognition. But we're used to looking outside of ourselves and instead of within. So I feel that we're being called to kind of look all these. There's like 6 planets that are retrograding right now, and basically what's that's doing to it, it's like forcing us to go inward and resolve something at a deep, deep, deep underlying, like going to the root of our own issues, so that we can become fully actualized, so that we can become whole and healthy and happy, and really manifest what we're meant to manifest, a new paradigm together. And so all of these planetary bodies are like working together to wake us up. It's playing out this wonderful story. It's how I see it. I put a story to it, and I can look at it more objectively from that. Like, what's going on with us? The human drama. Oh my goodness. So yesterday, it's Monday, the 23rd right now. So yesterday afternoon, the sun moved into the sign of Leo. And the sun actually rules Leo. So it's like the sun is coming back to its heart. And Leo is this really, it's like warm-hearted, it's fun, it's playful, it's celebratory, it's joyful. It's like, of course it's summer, It's like, yes, it's like perfect peak of summer, yeah. Fun times. And but then there's these intensities that are coming along with it. It's, Leo is a fire sign, and it's, they say that, as the sun moves into Leo, we enter through this portal of transformation, the Lion's Gate portal, as they refer to it. And it's this. See, each of us has the spark of the divine within us, and each of us has this like eternal fire. It's a spark, and we're supposed to, when the sun comes back into Leo, that's when we can really we're supposed to let that inner beauty, that inner love, that inner light radiate. We're supposed to share it. That is our loving, warm-hearted gift that we are offering to, that's like the lessons of Leo that we're meant to learn right now. And but there's other stuff that's going on that's like, whoa, disrupting the flow, that's unexpected, that comes from other places, that isn't predictable. We're on a trajectory, and it's like, I want this, these are my goals, and like there's these outside influences. I feel like that's what the Mars square Uranus is kind of doing right now. Is like, I want to do this. But Mars is actually retrograde, one of the planets that is retrograde right now. So it's like, nope, you got to think about it. Or like, there's some blocks that get in our way, and we get really frustrated, and everybody's dealing with stuff. I mean, this is something that these energies, this is like energetic weather that is impacting us psychologically, physically, and spiritually as well. Oh, wow, I feel the energy is really strong right now. So it's like, whoa, just pause for a minute. Highly sensitive empath. Oh, so I'm also going to be showing you some tips on how to, since there's so much stuff coming to the surface, Spirit's been guiding me that I have to give you tools. Like, and I'm going to be giving you a simple spell that you can do, working with water. It's an emotional healing spell to help us heal those old wounds, help us release what we do not need, and bless ourselves with every sip. And I'll get into the specifics of that later. But back to the teachings of Leo. That's right now. It's like we are supposed to. This Lion's Gate portal that we are in right now. It's activating us. For some, it's triggering us, but it's meant to light us up, ignite from the inside out, so that you can be like, just shine and radiate. And we're supposed to wake up and stay lit. The key, though, is like Can we move through this world with that inner torchlight of love, you know, sharing it and putting it out there and not letting it be diminished by unpredictable, you know, by outside forces? You know, how do we stay woke? How do we stay lit? I have sage that is really doing its thing over here. And incense. I've got some lovely aromas. So we've also got Mercury retrograde coming up on Thursday. And I know everyone goes like, oh no, Mercury retrograde. Everything that is happening is probably going to make you want to close up and go in your cozy place and just detach. I don't blame you. I kind of did that for 7 years. No, not 7 years. I did that for a long enough time. And then Spirit was like, you can't do that anymore. Or you'll just like shrink. And you're not here to shrink into nothingness. You're not here to play small. And anybody watching this, that's the same for you. We didn't come here to do little things. Came here to do big things together. I'm really excited about it, actually. I'm really excited. I hope you're as excited as I am. But it can be overwhelming and really intense right now. And with Mercury going retrograde, I mean, everything's pulling us inward. So there's a lot of deep processing that's going on. I mean, how many planets did I take them out? Did I list them? I won't remember them. Can I read this? I know there's Saturn and Pluto and Venus and Mars and Mercury, and I want to say Neptune, but I'm really not seeing where there it is. Yeah, Mercury, Mars, Chiron. Chiron is the wounded healer, and Chiron can kind of point the way to where you have healing from previous lifetimes. And what's interesting when I go deeper into myself, like into the well of memory, certain things, you know, especially with singing and toning and the work that I do, like vision arises while I'm toning and while I'm working with sound. It's like sound is a bridge for the vision to come through for me. It's kind of surreal. So this Blood Moon Eclipse is supposed to be the longest eclipse of the century that we've had so far. It's going to be like 1 hour and 23 minutes long. The time of the eclipse on Friday in New York, East Coast time, is 4:20. On Pacific Coast, that's 1:20, and in Europe, London time, it's going to be 9:20 at night. So we're not going to be able to see it here in the United States because it's going to be daytime, and the moon is not going to rise until the sun sets, because that's like the beauty of the sun and moon on the full moon. Is the full moon usually rises around sunset, when the sun sets, because they're in opposition. So do I need to tell you that this energy is going to be intense? You're probably already feeling it. Some people might be having breakdowns and might be being really stressed out. We have to breathe. We have to slow down. We have to relax and unplug from I call it unplugging from the matrix, the physical world, the things when you have to, the temporal world, when things have to be done in a certain time. If you keep checking your watch, oh my gosh, we have to unplug from that. We have to go into into a place of peace. If you can't, do it as often as you can. Claim that for yourself. Honor yourself in that way. Your body will thank you if you can take some time just for deep breathing. And actually, Spirit's showing me that if we can welcome the shifts that are coming, because this is all, if we can not be triggered by what's happening, but witness it and breathe deeply through the process. And as you exhale, just like letting it, let it flow through you. Let it flow through you. Breathe in deep, exhale, release it to the universe. It's not yours. You don't have to keep it. It's okay. Just sometimes it's like, just give me that brown paper bag so I can breathe into it and calm down. It's been pretty intense lately. But we've got to take time out for ourselves if we can. There's certain things that can help us. And I love working with plants and the spirit of plants. And I'm not saying like, oh, let's just all go out and do ayahuasca. No, I'm not talking about working with the dark lady in that way. Just I'm talking about everyday things that we can do to bless ourselves and to bring sacredness into our lives. Live life magically. Live life in a sacred way. You don't have to be totally obvious about it. It doesn't have to take a long time to do it. You can be covert with your magic. I've been doing magic. I was doing magic when I worked in a cubicle. I think everybody knew though, but I was covert. I was like, I can't really hide it. It's like, she's magic. She's just got magic all around her. But this is a tea. What's the brand of the tea? I brought the brand out because I wanted to point at some herbal teas. This is by Traditional Medicinals Herbal Teas. Ooh, it's all backwards. This is probably backwards in your thing. But it's organic chamomile with lavender, and it's all non-GMO, organic, chemical-free. And chamomile is actually a very calming herb, but lavender is a nervine. Specifically, it helps the nervous system. So what's happening is you're getting bombarded, not just by people freaking out in your general vicinity, and everyone's kind of like stressed out to the max, but energetically, we are literally being bombarded with a lot more than we're used to. So by drinking these teas, herbal teas is one of the ways that I'm just suggesting in this video, but there's a lot of other ways. You can make tinctures or flower essences, or there's batch flower remedies you can put in your water that works with the plant spirit medicine, the essences of plants. And it's a gentle, it's really a beautiful way to open. And plants can teach us how to open like a flower in the way that we're meant to. We're meant to bloom. And the plant medicine can help us do that. There are, I wrote it down. There are other herbs that can help calm the nervous system down. I wrote them down because I didn't want to forget. In addition to lavender and chamomile, there's also lemon balm, passion flower. Ashwagandha is another herb that was recommended in a number of places. I don't think it'd be really good in a tea though. There's holy basil is another one. You can cook with that. Reishi mushrooms is another one. Skullcap, you can work with in a tea form. Hawthorn is wonderful. Hawthorn is one of the trees most sacred to the fairies, and it has to deal with blessings. Oh, I actually have a hawthorn thorn that my friend picked for me underneath the rainbow. What? I want to say it was Newgrange where she got it. I think she got it at Newgrange. This is my hawthorn thorn, my blessing thorn. So, and actually working with hawthorn might be a really wonderful way to open your heart. hawthorn is really good for the heart too. I think I mentioned that. But also I wanted to mention, like, CBD oil is becoming more popular on the marketplace, and that has a lot of medicine in it that will help you heal in a number of different ways. It can help as a mood elevator, but it helps if you're not high. You can stay clear-minded and focused if you know, you can still drive and have conversations and work and all that good stuff. So those are some herbs that you can start working with in tea form. Yes, okay. I just don't want to miss out, because I did put some information down. Hi. I am going to be doing a healing later, yes, at the very end. I'm going to show you guys how to do an emotional healing spell with water really quickly after and then we'll get right into the meditation with the healing. Thank you. So basically the reason why these emotional outbursts are happening right now within and around us is because all the old stuff is coming to the surface to be released. And we're changing old programs. This moon is an opportunity for us to change the old programs, get to the root cause of our issues. I'm recently going, it's interesting, I'm using my own what's medicine for me and also works for me is also interesting because it's feeling like it's working for all of us right now. I'm recently going through changes where 7 years ago I lost a bunch of weight, and then since my dad passed, I packed it on. Not all of it, but like a good chunk of it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I recreate this same condition? Obviously, there's something there that's creating it. So I want to get to the root cause of this, and I want to figure out what it is so I don't keep repeating this. And Spirit reminded me that I kept seeing these things for the Oracle of Delphi and the Temple of Apollo. And I was reminded that there's words inscribed at the Temple of Apollo in stone that basically translates to know thyself. And so know thyself has been like, like really know yourself, because there's hidden stuff. You have blind spots. I had people in my life showing up, pointing out my blind spots to me. And it was like, and not in a nice way either. But bless them, because I am all the wiser now, and I see a lot more than I was able to see, because my blind spots were being pointed out to me. So, so in knowing yourself, if you identify as an empath, this is imperative for you to really know yourself inside and out, claim your core center, and keep that inner holy fire lit so that others don't walk all over you, so that you can have that, and practice that self-love. It's funny being an empath. If you go into, especially if you're becoming a healer, if you go in and you're not totally healed, it's like the condition, certain things will start. It's like certain things it's like it gets in you. It's like you can't let go. It's like all of a sudden you're carrying everybody's burdens, and you're having burnout. And if you don't have healthy boundaries and know where your energy begins and another person's, the difference between your energy versus outside energy, or if you don't have a strong self-esteem, you will be manipulated. You will be taken advantage of. You will give so much of yourself that you become depleted, and you won't take the proper self-care that you need for your highest good to continue to do the great work. And I feel that, this is me putting myself out there and learning and sharing what I've experienced. And I thought I'm a pretty smart cookie. I thought I had it all covered, but you know what? Life teaches you and will shape you. And you get to a point where you're like, I recognize I've been shaped by certain things in my life, positive and negative. And I got to a point where I was like, you know what? It's time for me to reshape myself into something different. Or, well, the core true parts keep the best parts of myself and carry those forward. But like, you know, I'm a creative being, so I'm constantly creating myself. And I feel that now is a very powerful time for us to do that as we tap into this moon energy. And one of the things that Spirit was telling me is that questions are keys. I work a lot with Hecate. You can see her altar right here. Oh, if I could point, there we go. It's Hecate. And Hecate is the goddess of the three-way crossroads. She's the goddess of magic, and she's often referred to as the lady with the keys. And so the key is a powerful symbol that I work with, and locking versus unlocking my own potential as a healer, as a seer, as a witch, as a being in this world that is meant to use her magic to create bigger things for all of us, better things for all of us. And someone asked me recently what Radia is not my married name or my given name. It's connected to a magical name. But Radia is connected to an energy that I'm pulling forward in a conscious way. And it's referring to a rising consciousness that is coming out, a strength that is rising in all of us, but in a lot in women, especially right now. And Radia, you know how in the Bible there was Jesus, and Jesus was the Son of God. And well, Aradia was the first female avatar. She is said to be the daughter of the goddess Diana. And she existed in the 13th century, and she was a witch, and she taught magic to the poor so that they could be liberated from their oppressors. So to give you a little clue of kind of what my intention is this, that I'm going to give you tips and healing tips along this journey that will help you become liberated, that'll help free you from attachments, and this is like where we're going as we create the new paradigm. I'm all about liberation. So questions are keys that we can use to unlock ourselves. And as I've been going deeper into myself, I've been, what are the I recreated this condition in my body. So if you have a physical condition like chronic pain, or maybe weight keeps coming back, or maybe just things that keeps coming back around, like, or maybe someone's been diagnosed with cancer and they got it removed and then it came back, and they got it removed and then it came back. Or maybe it's the same type of person that we keep attracting in our romantic relationships. That isn't necessarily a good thing. So it's like, this is a pattern that I don't want anymore in my life. But how do we change the pattern? And so one of the things that I asked myself was, what toxic emotion has my body memorized that triggers the gene that keeps creating this condition? This could be used, why does my body keep recreating this situation? What emotion, in psychology, they say that whatever fires together wires together. And so, we can have these unconscious loops that are running in our heads that keep, there's like, it could be like this negative inner critical voice, or these voices that I call them the necrotic voices, the voices that like devour your life force and drain you of hope and drain you of your power, and maybe cause you to further isolate yourself. So I asked myself, what were these toxic emotions that are inside of me? Where are they? And then I sat with it deeper. And you might want to write this down, or take some time with this, or go back and rewatch this part later. But going deeper and like looking deep, what thoughts does this, when I'm in this emotional state, what thoughts does this create within me? How do I think when I feel that emotion? And how does this affect my behavior? And oh my gosh, in feeling this way, my coping mechanism was I would reach for certain foods. Sweets. Sweets and carbs. Yeah. So it was like, when I started on this healing journey, I had so many different addictions to work through and to release. And it's like one by one by one. But like, you know, this one thing stuck. And I feel like this is like the last thing. It's like, it has to do, it's connected to my body. It's connected to body image. And I think every single woman out there deals with this, or has to deal with this in some way, or they're facing it in some way within themselves. So let's spend a moment and identify some negative emotions that that are trapped within you, that might be haunting you, that might be connected to something someone from your past said or did to you, that shaped you. And then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be releasing those negative emotions to the void. We're going to be releasing those negative emotions to the universe, God, goddess, quantum field, whatever you choose to call it. We're going to be getting them out of our body and releasing them and asking to be healed in the best way for ourselves. And start imagining, you know, what would my life be like if I didn't have those thoughts? What would the world be like if we were healed and whole? Not just my life, but like, wow, what would so-and-so's, you know, what would the person that victimized me or you, what would their life be like if they were healed? Because they would not have the need to victimize or shame or use guilt to manipulate and control. Right? We've been manipulated, we've been controlled by shame and guilt. And then maybe we've agreed to that shame and that guilt, and maybe we've internalized it. And maybe that old voice of, those type of people do that, and we've kept certain things hidden and shied away because we're terrified of people not liking us. And all these like little things add up to bigger things. And maybe we've been sitting here living with resentment, or living with fear, or living with a feeling that we're unlovable or that we're unworthy for 10, 20, 30, 40 plus years. We can release that right now. We can hold that space for each other right now. And that's what we're going to do. First, I want to show you a little spell for how to heal these emotions, because they're all coming to the surface right now. So there's something I've been doing, working with water, and you can do this in your tea, you can do this in your water bottle. I'm going to use my tea right here. Hold it here between my knees, okay? Okay. So make your hands in a heart shape. Like that. And take the deepest breath you've breathed all day, and really connect to that pure love. Deep, 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 deep within your heart. And as you exhale, I want you to say, ah. And what you're doing as you ah, you are feeding light into the heart. And it's making like by the way, I learned this water spell from T. Thorne Coyle, and I believe it's written about in her book, Kissing the Limitless. So if you want to like get more, and I've been doing it for so many years, it's kind of changed. So mine might be a little bit different from hers, but this is where I originally got it from. Hey, it's what magic happens. Okay, so you go, ah, and you fill the heart with light and love, and then you drop it into your cup. Like you're dropping a pill or an egg, an energy ball of love into your cup. And then you hold the cup And it's like you take another deep breath, but you're gathering. For me, it's like I'm gathering all the love I can gather, the purest, the best, the juiciest, most wonderful, delicious love. And then as I exhale, I ma. I do a ma chant, and I ma energy into the water. And I'm infusing through sound, intention, and literally, if you're using a water bottle and you have a little space in your bottle, you will feel the resonance. You will feel the vibration in your hands as you're doing this, as you're doing the ma. So after I do the ma, I say, this water is holy, this water is blessed, and I bless myself with every sip. By all the powers of moon and sun, this healing charm cannot be undone. By standing stone and sacred tree, as I do will, so mote it be. And when I take a sip, it is so. I have one of the things that's really important with detox has to do with water intake, and apparently we're supposed to be drinking a gallon of water a day, which is 128 ounces a day. I have been infusing every single, I get larger, I have big jugs that I'm drinking out of. Hey, I have big jugs. No, just kidding. So I have been infusing all of that water, and you can put the batch flower remedies in the water, and you can work with flower essences in that regard. You can put tinctures in the water, and you can bless it. You can do it in teas. You can bless it that way, but that's how to do a quick blessing with water. Then you can add it to your bath, and you can take holy water baths and magical baths. Hello, it's kind of cool. It's kind of a really cool thing to do. So I hope you guys use it. It's really easy and really simple and really potent, but gentle at the same time. And you know that your spell is working when you take your first sacred pee. Blessed be. So with that, let's take 3 deep breaths, 1 for the mind, 1 for the body, and 1 for the soul. I'm going to light a candle for this. Oops. Blessed be. Three deep breaths, 1 for the mind, 1 for the body, 1 for the soul. As you breathe deep and slow, give me permission to send you Reiki. Give yourself permission to receive Reiki for healing, for your highest good. As you breathe, drop down deep into yourself. I want you to feel your connection to the earth, the soil, and the system of life here on this planet. Feel your energy flowing down and through and into the earth like roots, like energetic roots, as if you are a great tree. Your branches touch heaven. Your roots flow into the heaven that is the earth. And as you flow into these deeper places, and you feel your earthly connections and your connection to your body and your connection to the form, slow yourself down with every breath. As you breathe, allow yourself to open. Sometimes I envision myself standing at a threshold and I take off this heavy cloak that I let drop around my ankles, and I can feel the weight of it drop. And it's like I pass through this threshold and I enter into this beautiful garden, this beautiful place. Maybe not as a human, maybe in my spirit form, maybe in animal form, maybe as a mermaid, maybe as a dragon, maybe as another creature. Just let yourself emerge. Let yourself explore. There's this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place, this beautiful heaven on earth. And tap into that beauty, tap into that luscious, delicious life force energy that's like an eternal wellspring. Maybe you go into this garden and there is a wellspring there. There is a wishing well. And you draw up the bucket from the wishing well and you take a sip and you can feel the waters cleansing you. Oh, and as the waters move through you, it's like energy washes down your spine. And it seems like there's parts where it gets stuck and you can feel where it gets stuck in you. That's where there's blocks. So I want you to reach with your magical fingers into your magical body. And I want you to feel for those energetic intrusions, which are old thought forms, which are connected to old ways of being, which are connected to the past. We're moving into the future. We have to leave some things behind, especially if it makes us sick, especially if it causes us unrest within and without. And so we reach inside and we feel in the different chakras and the energy centers within us. As we start clearing these energies, and just toss them into the void. I'm seeing this beautiful garden around us, and there's this wonderful giant Venus flytrap that's like, I'll eat the stuff you want to get rid of. That's how we recycle here. I have very vivid wild dreams. So I just kind of give it, in nature, life consumes life. The plants cleanse the soil and pull out toxins from the soil, and plants can cleanse our bodies as well. Nature can teach us how to clear ourselves, and we release what we do not need. We pull it out of us. These negative emotions are sometimes called the demons of the chakras. Interesting word choice, I think. But in the root chakra, let yourself go still. Let yourself go deeper. Give yourself permission. Notice the distractions. Let them go. And reach into yourself in the area of your root chakra. Find the fear. Pull it out. Get rid of that shit. You don't need it. You can feel it. If you're going through life and you feel it, that's fine. Do what you need to do anyway. Keep going. Fear isn't real. False evidence appearing real. Let it go. Pull that stuff out of you. Throw it to the quantum field. Throw it to the void. Cast it away. Banish it. You don't want that. You don't need it. It's not yours. It's not real. It's illusion. It's keeping you trapped. It's keeping you stuck. Pull it up, pull it up, pull it up and out. As you exhale, exhale it out like you're blowing it out like smoke. Reach into your gut and find all that insecurity, all that self-doubt, all that stuff that was put upon you when you were in grade school and when you were a kid, and all that stuff you don't need. Just toss it away. Toss it away. You're cleaning yourself. You're cleaning yourself out. Resentment, anger. We can use anger sometimes, but only if it's like a reverent rage. You can use it to fuel your passions, but a lot of times it sits inside of us and it burns us like a coal from the inside out, or like a poison that just eats, something that's necrotic, that just eats away these negative emotions. That's what they do. They destroy your life force. They destroy who you are meant to be. They're like weeds in your garden. We've got to pull them out. Get rid of them. We don't want them. They throw them to the void where they can be recycled into the whole of all that is. And the lies. Reach into your throat chakra. The lie in your ears, all the lies and the stories and the bullshit that you've been told, the falsity, all the media, the fake news, all that crap. It's president stuff. Politics, news, all that. Pull it out. It's like cotton from your ears. We don't need to hear that stuff anymore. It's like we've closed our ears off from hearing certain things because it's too much. We're overwhelmed, but it's affecting our health. It's affecting our thyroid. The lies can affect your thyroid. They can affect your teeth. They can affect how you hear. All of this area, grief we can hold in our heart, and that sadness can shut the heart down. Our lack of trust and can inhibit and prohibit healthy relationships. So we trust. We have to trust. Do you think Source doesn't trust itself? Do you think that Source has trust issues? We are connecting to the Source within us. We don't need distrust. We don't need doubt. We came here for a reason, and now is the season to unveil who we truly are. Our sisters and brothers are upholding each other both near and far. By ancient bones and standing stones, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Our prayers and thoughts all tied up in knots, wash blessings upon our shore. A new dawn is rising, and us realizing the power we hold in this realm inspires us to dance, co-create, take a chance. As captains, we take the helm. We sail through the storm and thus are reborn. Our treasures, like wisdom, we hold. We pirate our way through matrix and fray. Fortuna rewards the bold. Okay. Illusion is connected to the third eye. Let's clear away the veils of illusion and allow ourselves to see ourselves in different ways, energetically, in a beauty way, see ourselves connecting as one. Oh, also be aware of the attachments that can block the crown chakra. Emotional attachments, attachments to belief systems, cords. Okay. So we've cleared ourselves and we've tossed that energy to the void. And we're asking the quantum field and Reiki, or the unified power of the One, for healing, for our highest good, as we release these things now. And as we continue to release we're going to be releasing. We can go with the flow or not go with the flow. When we don't go with the flow, it gets a lot harder. But as we go with the flow and we drink water, we're reminded to go with the flow. So I gave you the water spell. Spirit's telling me now and reminding me that forgiveness is the single most healing act that we can do. So in this now moment, this infinite and eternal now moment, forgive. Forgive all the wounded souls, all the haters, all the ones that have judged you, all the ones that were so wounded that all they knew to do was to wound, that are so wired in their pain that they don't know how to get out of that loop. We forgive not because we agree or we condone their behavior in any way, shape, or form, but because we love ourselves and we need to move forward and we need to let go of being a victim or victimized. The anger, when we hold on to that, is like we're keeping a piece of ourselves stuck back in time. As we forgive, we get to reclaim our power and our purity before the event ever happened. It's like we're giving a piece of ourselves back to ourselves. And as we learn to let go and detach, forgiveness is like this healing balm that helps us detach from that energy, that wound, and healing can rush in. If you can think of somebody that needs to be forgiven, imagine them in your mind and say, I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive you. And as I exhale, it's like they just kind of float away and they're released. And then I want you to scan yourself, because I'm feeling that we have more attachments to the past and people in relationship, and it's time to cut those cords. There's some cords that are light and there's some cords that are dark, and we totally have to cut the dark cords because they're draining us. They're not healthy. I'm like, I have something right here. Like, I just found something. Like, oh, that's interesting. They're draining. They're not healthy. They're imbalanced. So if you noticed, I was feeling around, you can have cords attached and connected to any chakra, actually, or any part of your body. And you can feel it, for me, sometimes it feels like it's like you're passing through like a line, like an energy line. And you can feel it kind of like, oh, there's something there. And then you sense feeling where that cord leads to, and it leads you to an image of, oh, this is connected to, and I'm just going to go into it and see what it's connected to. Oh my gosh! It wasn't connected to a person. It's connected to the need to be right. Wow. Well, that's really interesting. So I've got an attachment to a certain need. So that's kind of an intangible thing too, but that's also connected to an old program, possibly, you know? All of this stuff is like layered. So we're figuring out what we don't need anymore. So I don't have an attachment to that. And I release it. You can imagine a lightsaber or a sickle or a Swiss Army knife or whatever, golden scissors I use sometimes, or a sword, katana blade, whatever cutting instrument is appropriate for the cord. Sometimes the cord looks like a rusty chain, and it's like really hard to cut through because there's a really old and strong attachment to that person, that relationship, that thing. And you might have to actually cut it more than once. If you can determine that it, you know, oftentimes I will also envision myself and visualize myself standing on a bridge facing the other person and telling them what I need to tell them, saying it's over and goodbye. Sometimes it's forgiveness that I need to do as well to make it really go away. There's a lot of energy that's really coming through strongly now. This is a very powerful healing session. Thank you so much for doing this for yourself, because every time you take a step in your own healing process, we're making this world a better place for all of us. So give yourself permission to cut ties, just energetically cut cords. Sometimes people can feel like they're haunting you, and if you're an empath, you're like, why is this person like, this person keeps coming up in my mind? And it's like, when that happens, sometimes I scan myself for cords, and it's like, oh, there is a connection. And like, what is this? It's like, because people, we can just get, there's entanglements, you know, there's quantum entanglements. Sometimes these entanglements can point to past life stuff that we've had with these people, and deeper things that we need to either reclaim or heal within ourselves so that we can, you know, do what we came here to do. But it's all learning, and it's all experience, you know, it's all how we can keep our energy clear, and other people can pull us out of whack quite easily. So it's important to know how to recognize, you know, when you're feeling off balance, and to take some time to cut some cords and for letting go. Yeah, so let me just kind of give yourself permission to just be still and breathe, to integrate everything that came through, because I gave you a lot of information in this session, and let's just have some silence and stillness and breathing to integrate it all, because I know it's a lot. So I had you plug into the earth like a tree, and earlier, and you're still connected to the earth. And within the earth, there is a grid of light, like a matrix, that is connected to the system of life here on this planet. And to me, it looks like a spider web. And it's like there's these lines of energy that connect certain places in the world, like the different chakra points in the world. And then there's those of us that are holding space in the hills and in our homes and in our sacred sanctuaries. And those are power places. And the grid underneath and the land is lit up in those places, especially if you're doing work with the land. And all these webs of light are connecting around the world with everyone who watches this video now. We're all linking up and syncing up through what I call the earth matrix, nature's mainframe, the system of life. And we're all connected to this system of life. And as we all breathe, let this one life that we are all living, that we are all participating in, breathe through each of us. And let us share in life and in our breathing and in our healing and in our love and in our sacredness. And feel that matrix, that lattice, or that web, that earth web, the earth grid, upholding us from beneath and below. Supporting all life forms. And feel that beautiful energy, that harmonious with life and peace on earth, heaven on earth. And feel this beauty and this peacefulness and this healing, this beautiful energy building and rising within you, expanding, rising up and expanding in your heart space, expanding beyond your flesh, beyond your form into your aura, expanding and filling the room that you're in, expanding and filling, spreading out like a fog that rolls across the streets in your neighborhood. Maybe not a fog, but like a light. Could be fog. Oh, this beautiful energy that rolls. I grew up in the Bay Area, so fog rolling over the mountains and covering the landscape like a blanket. Keep seeing this beautiful light energy that is expanding from each of us and then rolls out and expands over the landscape and touches other people's energies, and it all merges, and it's like this beautiful blanket of love and peace and Reiki and harmony that is holding us all. Every month I feel blessed to be able to do this and to share these experiences with you. I thank every one of you who watch this video and who connect to the energy, because when we connect to this energy, we're transcending the boundaries of time and space. And we are making this world a better place with every breath that we take. Carry the sacredness with you, that light, and share it. And may you share the beauty and the healing and the love from this healing experience with all you encounter as we move through these planetary shifts and eclipses. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Thank you for taking the time. Until next month, blessed be. We thank Reiki, our guides, and all the beings of light that helped us with this healing session. Stay if you will, go if you must. Blessed be. Thanks, you guys. Have a great night. Blessed be.